Hi guys, this is part 2 of Evolution of BlackBerry. Please, if you haven't seen the first video, click on the link above to see it. Please like the video, and let me know in the comment section how you feel about the BlackBerry not producing mobile phones anymore, and if you haven't subscribed already then hit subscribe button now, so you don't miss a thing in the future. So the first BlackBerry Storm arrived at the end of 2008, featuring a clickable touchscreen but no physical QWERTY keyboard. This was the first time that BlackBerry had tried to move to full touch, with the iPhone starting to make waves. The Storm didn't go down a storm. The 9500 model, pictured, had a 3.2 megapixel camera and a 360 by 480 resolution display. There was also 1 GB of internal memory. In 2009, the Storm 2 arrived, 9550, with 2 GB of memory, attempting to address the shortcomings of the original. Then BlackBerry had tried to do its own thing with touch, and struggled to match rival offerings. In July 2009, the BlackBerry Tour made its debut. It included a 480 by 360 pixel resolution display with a pixel density of 250 ppi, a 3.2 megapixel camera, and a microSD card slot that could be expanded up to 32 GB. Like the Curve and the Bold, there was also a trackball interface. Then the 9700 model was released at the end of 2009, while the 9650 and 9780 were released twice in 2010. The trackball was replaced with a trackpad, and the display resolution was increased from 220 ppi to 250 ppi by switching to 480 by 360 pixels. The 3.2 megapixel camera was available on the 9700 and 9650 models, while the 5 megapixel autofocus camera on the 9780, which was released at the end of 2010, was available on the 9780. Despite the fact that the optical trackpad was an improvement over the trackball, which was prone to malfunction, there was increased competition from powerful touch devices, as well as criticisms about the lack of software. In 2010, BlackBerry updated the Pearl, adding the optical trackpad featured on the newer Bold to the smaller format handset. The 9100, like the original Pearl, has 2 letters per button to allow for a thinner design. This variant included a 3.2 megapixel camera and the ability to expand the 2 GB memory up to 32 GB with a microSD card. The 9800 model was the first BlackBerry Torch, which was released in 2010. Pictured. It had a big touchscreen with a resolution of 480 by 640 pixels and a pixel density of 250 ppi that could slide up to expose a complete QWERTY keyboard. There was a 5 megapixel camera and an optical trackpad on board. The Torch was upgraded a few times in 2011 with the 9810, 9850, and 9860, however just the display size and resolution were modified. With a BlackBerry keyboard and a huge touch display with media features, the Torch was designed to meet all demands. The touchscreen experience elsewhere, on the other hand, was significantly improved at this point. BlackBerry upgraded the Curve model in 2010, incorporating the optical trackpad featured on the Torch in the 9300, as well as a 2 megapixel camera with video recording, at the same time as the Pearl. The Curve remained popular because it was small, capable, and a terrific texting phone. The Curve was a terrific tool to communicate while data was still pricey. The BlackBerry Style, which has a flip design, was released towards the end of 2010. The internal display was 360 by 400 pixels, while the exterior display was 240 by 320 pixels. Users got access to a full QWERTY keyboard as well as an optical trackpad once the app was loaded. A 5 megapixel camera was also on board. In the summer of 2011, the BlackBerry Bold Touch was released. It had a touchscreen interface, an optical trackpad, and a complete QWERTY keyboard. It had NFC, as well as a 5 megapixel camera and was the thinnest BlackBerry available at the time. The Bold Touch sparked new debates, delivering a wonderful keyboard but a touch experience on a display that, by this point, looked too tiny for market demands. The BlackBerry Z10 was the first device to run the new BB10 operating system, which was released in early 2013. It had a 4.2-inch display with a resolution of 1280 by 768 pixels. The phone has an 8 megapixel back camera and a 2 megapixel front camera, as well as a 10-hour talk time battery. The show was powered by a dual-core 1.5 GHz CPU with 2 GB of RAM, 16 GB of memory, and a microSD card slot for up to 32 GB of expansion. The Z10 was an intriguing debut, even if it was clear that BlackBerry was trying to deliver an OS with full touch convenience and was up against it. The Z10 was already out of date when it was released. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe and comment the country you are watching from. See you in my next video.